You can see up on the board here right now, I have my data for my initial velocity and my final velocity. The initial velocity of cart 1, and then the final velocity of the combined carts after the collision takes place. I want to plot a scatter plot of this so that ultimately I can get a line of best fit, and then the slope of that line of best fit, so that I can calculate what I want to calculate and go through my analysis. So here's what I do. Highlight your data. Don't highlight your headings. Okay, I don't want to highlight initial V and final velocity. Just highlight your data itself. Then click Insert Chart. Now, the default chart is likely going to be a bar graph. That's not what I want. I got to change it to a scatter plot. So I want to scroll up here to where it says Data Column Chart. Okay, Data Column Chart. This is the only thing you're going to do under Data. The only thing you're going to do under the Data tab there. So click on Data, where it says Column Chart, change it to a scatter plot. Now that looks better. Okay, that looks like a pretty linear graph. Okay, it's not a perfect straight line, but that's okay. It's a pretty linear graph. Notice my title is backwards, and notice I don't have my axes labeled. For whatever reason, Google Sheets will sometimes give you the correct title and label your axes for you automatically. Sometimes it doesn't, and I haven't figured out exactly why. Sometimes it does and sometimes it doesn't. Okay, in a way, it's good this time that it didn't do it for me, because now I get to walk you through that process of how to do it if it doesn't automatically do it for you. Next thing we're going to do is under Customize. So only one thing under Data, and that is pick the type of graph that you want. Customize is going to be where we label our title and label our axes. So I want you to go down here to where it says Chart and Axis Titles. Click on it. And that's going to open up a box that says Type Vertical Axis Title, and then Vertical Axis Title or Horizontal Axis Title or Chart Title. Okay, let's change my chart title first, from initial V and final V to final velocity. Versus initial velocity. Because of course we know that we want to put our y-axis first and our x-axis second. There's my chart title, and you can see that it automatically updated it on my graph. Now I'm going to click Type again, click on Horizontal Axis Title. I'm going to enter initial velocity for this one, and that's going to be meters per second. Don't forget those units. And then I'm going to change it again to vertical axis title and enter my vertical axis, which is final velocity. And that's going to be meters per second. So there we go. So I've got everything labeled here now. Looks good, except that I need a line of best fit. Still under Customize, because remember, there's only one thing you do under Data, and that's your chart type. Still under Customize, I want to close up the chart and axis titles, go down to Series, and under Series, scroll down to where it says Trend Line, click on that. The default trend line is going to be linear, which you're going to use the vast majority of time, including on this lab. So leave it as linear. I like to change the color, although it doesn't really matter what the color of the line is as long as it's visible. Okay, if we can see it, it's good. Okay, we can see that's there already, but I'm going to change it to red just so you see a little bit better. I'm going to make the opacity 100% so it's a little bit brighter and see a little bit better. You might even want to change the thickness to 4 point or something like that. I'm going to leave it as 2 because I think that's fine, but whatever you seem to think is the best. Now, go down one more box to where it says Label. Label, where it says None, you want to click Use Equation. Not Custom, not None. Don't click Show R Squared. I don't care about any of that stuff. Just click Use Equation. Now, you can see that the equation automatically just pops up right here. This is in the form of y equals mx plus b. So y is equal to 0.479x plus 0.011. 0.011 is my y-intercept. I told you guys when we went through the analysis yesterday that the y-intercept should be 0 or very close to 0. 0.0111 is very close to 0. The slope of the graph is 0.479. Okay? That's the slope of my graph, which you determined yesterday was m1 over mass total. That's what you want to compare, right? This slope with M1 over mass total, then do your percent difference to determine whether the law of conservation momentum was valid.